guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday, July 7th, and it is officially the first day of Summerween. I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to this readathon for the last few months. This readathon is held by Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte and Gabby from Gabby Reads. I will link both their channels down below. A ton of people in the Bookstagram, Booktube community participate in this readathon. It's actually my second year doing it. I believe I have videos from the first time I did it. If I do, I will go ahead and I'll link them down below, or a vlog from the first time. If I do, I'll link it down below. So yeah, today is Friday, July 7th. The readathon will run from a week, from Friday to Friday. So I did talk about my TBR in my July TBR vlog or video, which I will tag. I'll put a card up above and I'll tag below. But I did end up getting... So I did order some of the merch that they have for the readathon. They were out of the book sleeves and candles, so I wasn't able to get those, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. I did get, as you saw in the clip earlier, this little Summerween mug. It's super cute. I love the logo. So yeah, I made myself coffee. It is about just close to 7 now. I start work at 8, so I have about an hour to get some reading done. So I thought I would go ahead and start this vlog off. So as I mentioned in that July TBR, there are 5 prompts for Summerween. One is to read a book in the dark. Another is to read a thriller. Another is to read a book that takes place in the fall. The fourth is to read a book with black or orange on the cover. And another is to read a manga, graphic novel, or novella. So the book that I'm reading in the dark is going to be Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. So I'm going to, or Shelley, right? Mary Shelley? Something Shelley. I don't think I've ever actually read Frankenstein. So I'm going to do that, but that's the book I'm reading in the dark, so I'm going to save that for tonight. Although it is kind of dark in my room right now because I don't have any windows open. But I'm going to save that for nighttime. Right now I have on here on my Kindle, if you can see... Right here on my Kindle, I have Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman. That's going to be my book set in the fall. And then I was going to do Blood on the Tracks for my manga, but I couldn't get it. It's not available on Kindle Unlimited, and my library doesn't have it. So instead I got Pumpkinheads. I know it's kind of hard to see, but so that's going to be the one I'm going to read. So I have Pumpkinheads and Practical Magic. I'm going to go ahead and start those now. I have a fall cozy ASMR video pulled up. I have my 2 dogs right here, and like I said, I have about an hour. Until work starts, a little bit like an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reading now. I do have a bunch of bonus reads that I want to do that weren't part of the 5 prompts, but I'm gonna try to start with the actual ones that were actually part of the prompts before I start the bonus ones. So I'm gonna get started on these 2, see how it goes. I think with Practical Magic I may end up actually I've never read the book. I love the movie. It's one of my favorite movies. So I think I'm going to read the book and then watch the movie. I think that'll be cozy and a good addition to the vlog. So this vlog is going to run for the whole week. This will be separate from my usual weekly vlog. So yeah, welcome to day 1 of Summerween. So it's about an hour later. I'm about 20% into Practical Magic. It's basically the same as the movie, just more spread out, more in detail, in depth. I'm definitely picturing the movie as I'm reading it. I love that movie so much. I used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. I would watch it several times a year. So I'm pretty familiar with the story. And it seems like it's basically the same. Like I said, just more in depth. I didn't read the part about the mom like there basically being a curse like on the women of the family, and I believe in the movie like the girl's dad dies, and that's why the girls are orphaned. I don't remember that the mom died in the movie. It has been a while since I've seen it. I usually now only watch it like once a year, so but I didn't really read that about the curse and all that. There was like a not a prologue, but like a forward of the book that I skipped, so maybe it was in there. But in the movie, Sally, Sandra Bullock's character, ends up opening like a shop where she sells like soaps and candles and things like that, which hasn't happened yet in the book, so I don't know if that's just something they added to the movie. But so far I'm really liking it. It's definitely giving all of the fall vibes, the witchy vibes, the small town vibes, like everything I want for a Summerween readathon. This book is definitely giving. So like I said, I'm going to read the book. I'm going to watch the movie at some point. I'm about 20% in now, so I'm going to stop for now because I'm going to be starting work here soon. I'll probably start Pumpkinheads today because I think I'll be able to get through that pretty quickly. And then I'll probably start one other book. There are 2 books. There's Blood Brothers that I'm going to be reading for Summerween, but that is a series, and it's one of my favorite series. And I know that once I start it, I'm not going to want to stop reading the series. I'm just going to want to go on to the next book because I do own all of them. So I'm going to try to wait to do that one last so that I can read the first book, Blood Brothers, during Summerween, and then continue on with the other books after Summerween ends. And then I also have Scythe, which isn't a Summerween read, but it's on my TBR for the month. But being that it's about death and like the Grim Reaper, kind of goes along with the Summerween theme. You know, it's about death. I was going to read that, but same thing, that's a series as well, so I know once I pick that up, I'm not going to want to stop reading the series, so I'm going to try to hold off on that one as well. But I do have some arcs that I want to read, or that I want to listen to. I have, I think it's The Only One Left is what it's called, by Riley Sager. That's the newest Riley Sager book. I want to listen to that, and then I have a couple of other, I think it's Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I have an arc of that as well. But I'm also doing a separate like arc reading vlog, so I think I might keep those in there. But those could fit into the Summerween vibe as well. So a lot of like side books that aren't really part of the prompts that I want to get to as well. So far it's going well. Like I said, about 20% into Practical Magic. I may put that down for a little bit and focus on Pumpkinheads. Maybe start a Flicker in the Dark. I'll probably listen to the audiobook of that while I work. And yeah, so far it's been a good first day of Summerween. I will check back in later on when I have another update. Okay guys, so I'm in my office now. I have a little pumpkin candle burning back there like you saw in the clip before. I am having some maple and brown sugar oatmeal, which I feel like matches the fall vibes perfectly. And not quite so fall-like, but I had to do it today, so I'm going to be listening to that for a little while. And then, once I listen to that for a while, then I'm going to put on a Flicker in the Dark, which I have the audiobook of, and I'll let you guys know what I think of that. So yeah, I will give you guys an update once I get through more of these books. I think I am going to start Blood Brothers because the only 2 physical books I have for Summerween are Frankenstein and Blood Brothers. And Frankenstein I want to read in the dark for that prompt. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start Blood Brothers today too. So I'll update you guys when I do all that. Hey guys, welcome back. So it is about 3 o'clock now. It has been a very successful day 1 of Summerween. I started Practical Magic this morning like you saw. I'm about 17% in. I haven't read any more of it since this morning. I'll probably try to pick it up again this evening. We are going to be going to the tattoo shop to meet my coworkers for them to get tattoos with our tattoo guy that we've been going to for a long time. We're going to have dinner tonight, so probably won't be until later tonight. So I don't know how much reading I'll get to tonight. I do want to start Frankenstein at some point tonight because that's the book I'm supposed to be reading in the dark. I started The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This is one of my most anticipated books of the year, and I was able to get an arc from Penguin Random House. So I've listened to it. I think it might be out now. I believe it is. It is so good so far. I'm already like 5 hours in. If today was Thursday, I could have probably finished it in one day, because I work until 5 on Thursdays. But as it is, I'm already halfway through it. So I will listen to it more over the weekend as I can, and then finish up whatever I need to on Monday. So I should be done with it by Monday. Really good. This is about the main character Kit, who has a kind of sordid past herself. She is a caregiver, like a home health care nurse. Well, she's not a nurse. She's not like actually, she didn't actually go to school to be a nurse, but she's a home health care person, and she takes care of people in their homes, that usually the elderly. And one of the things that sticks out to me about this book is that I actually used to do that. I worked in an assisted living as a caregiver for like 4 years, and then I went into home health care. So I would go to people's houses and take care of them. I did that for like a year, I think. But when I was doing home health care, I was working a lot of nights, like overnights, and that was like brutal. So I couldn't do that for very long, and I was so glad when I was able to stop doing that. It wasn't the home health care that I didn't like. I really loved getting to work with people. I loved working in assisted living. If I could ever go back to working in an assisted living community, I would. But the overnight was brutal. I could not do it. There were so many times when I was so exhausted driving home from work at like 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. after having been up all night that I almost got into a car accident because I was like basically falling asleep at the wheel. Yeah, that part, I would never do that part again. But so I'm very familiar with a lot of the things they're talking about, the terminology, what it's like to work in that kind of situation, what it's like to go into the home of a stranger, and have to like acclimate yourself to their home, to their life, to their routine, their schedules. You know, everybody's different. Everybody does things differently. So having to, like accustom yourself to each person's lifestyle and tailor yourself to what they need in their lifestyles, it can be a very difficult thing. So that part is really like real and relatable to me. But the thing that makes this book perfect for Summerween and the spooky fall vibe that I want to go for is that, one, it has like Lizzie Borden vibes. The other kind of main character in the book, the woman that Kit is taking care of, she was accused of killing her whole family, her mother, her father, and her sister, when she was 17 years old. And she is well known in this small town in Maine. And there's like not necessarily nursery rhymes that kids tell each other to scare each other have been made up about this woman. It is now like 40 years later or something, and she still lives in the same house. She has now she has had several strokes, so her body doesn't work. Basically, she's basically paralyzed except for one hand, her left hand. And so Kit has to go in and take care of her. But it turns out that I can't think of the main character's name now. Her last name's Hope, but I can't think of the first name. She is ready to tell her story. She's ready to basically confess to what actually happened. I've read other Riley Saga books where it seems like there was a supernatural, paranormal component to the story, which is what is happening now in the story, but then it ends up actually being a person. It ends up being just a person who is like the protagonist, the instigator of all of the things that are happening in the house. So I have a feeling that that's what it's going to be again. So every person that's introduced, I'm like, are you actually the killer? Or, you know, what happened? So I have my suspicions. I don't know if I'm going to be right, but I have my suspicions of what could be going on. Really liking it. I don't have enough time left in my workday to try to finish it today. Otherwise, I would. I have about 3 hours left. But I only have like 45 minutes left of work. So I think, or actually, before I tell you that. So I also started Blood Brothers by Nora Roberts. I talked about this in my July TBR. This is one of my favorite series ever. One of my favorite like supernatural series. It is kind of a paranormal romance, kind of. It's more of a paranormal and then a romance part of it. The romance doesn't happen between like the supernatural and the... I feel like paranormal romance is more like a vampire and a human, or a werewolf and a human, or whatever the case is. This is a paranormal book with romance in it between humans. It's one of my favorite series. I am not very far in. I think I'm only 43 pages in, so these usually go pretty quick though. I've read this series probably 4 or 5 times, and I get through them pretty quickly because I get engrossed. So I started that. I'm going to start Pumpkinheads at some point here soon as well, because I think I can get through that pretty quickly. I want to try to get through as many books as I can. I have some bonus books as well. I think I talked about it this morning, but I have House of Salt and Sorrow that I want to read before I start the arc of the second book, which is House of Roots and Ruin. I want to do a reread of the first book first, so I have that. I have Ghost Ship. I have, I forget what other books I have, but I'm trying to read some extra books as well. Do like some bonus books on top of the 5 books for the prompts. So see how many of these I can get through. Right now though, my back is killing me from sitting in my office chair, which is why I'm sitting in the bed. I have, you can't see it, but I have like one of those pillows. I have like the arms that you can, like lay back. I don't know. They're meant for sitting up in bed. I have one of those. Sitting here, I'm going to put more. I am going to listen to more of The Only One Left. I just don't know if I can finish it. But while I listen to that, I'm going to do some knitting. You guys, I am fangirling so hard. I went onto Instagram because, you know, if you say you're going to read and then you end up on Instagram. Happens, especially now with threads. And I saw that somebody had like tagged me in a post, so I clicked on it, and it turns out that freaking Alice Hoffman, the author of Practical Magic, shared my post. What? Like, that is, first of all, Practical Magic is one of my all-time favorite movies. I don't know if she was actually part of the movie or not, like the production of the movie, I'm not sure. But that is one of my all-time favorite movies. I've seen it, I don't even know how many times. And I've been meaning to read the book for years. And now that I am, she shared my post. I'm like dying. Also, reminds me, and I didn't talk about this before, but Travis Baldree, the author of Legends and Lattes, also shared my post about Legends and Lattes like 2 weeks ago or something. Like, what is happening? Like, I am shook, you guys. Like, what? I can't even. I had to come on and share. So, like, I can't even. So I've gotten a couple more chapters into The Only One Left, and I always wonder, like, obviously it's a book, but like, why do people never consider that, like, the person of authority or the cop they're talking to, the doctor they're talking to, like, whatever situation they're in, like, the person of authority could potentially be involved? Like, in this book, I don't want to spoil too much, but there's a cop that's involved in some way, a detective. And Kit, the main character, is like spilling her guts to this cop who already doesn't trust her and potentially thinks that she could be the one behind all the things that are going on. And he mentioned that he used to work at the house. He worked at the house during the summer when he was younger. So he has a prior connection to it. He has history with it. He already doesn't believe you. Why would you just spill your, like, all of your theories, your whole, like, history, everything to him? Why does nobody ever, like, consider that it could be these people behind these things? I really think that it might be the cop who's behind some of this. I think it's either going to be the cop or Kit's dad, maybe, could be involved. I don't know, but like, I always wonder, like, in this kind of I feel like if I was in this kind of situation, then, like, I would be suspicious and, like, wary of every person, like, I've ever come in contact with. If I was, like, being haunted and was thinking that it was a person who was doing it, you know, because I didn't believe in ghosts and knew that all these crazy things were happening in this house, and like someone was out to get me, I would be suspicious of every person I would be suspicious of like every person that I've ever come in contact with. I've read so many of these like thriller mystery books where the main characters are like spilling their guts to someone, and that's the person who's doing all the things. It drives me crazy every time. I always think like, probably not the smartest idea. But yeah, I had to come on and share that. So I'm another like 45 minutes in. So there's a good chance I could finish this weekend. So I will let you guys know what else happens. So he said, yeah, I had to go get an MRI. And I was like, he's like, call the other one, it's just fine.
Did you say the best that you can't work a fucking bead ring? I can understand why you probably needed an MRI.
Hey guys, welcome back to day 2 of Summerween. I have my little coffee here, if you can see that. So last night I attempted to start my book that I'm going to be reading in the dark, which was Frankenstein. I got like 30 pages in and knew that I was not going to be able to do it. It's just, the writing wasn't for me. I knew that it was going to be like that. I don't know. I just could not get into it. I knew that I was going to be forcing myself to read it, and I didn't want to have to do that. So far, Summerween is going great. I'm getting ahead in all the books that I've picked so far, and I didn't want to have a book that, like, I wasn't really enjoying and that I was going to have to force myself to read. So I put that away. Last night I read Blood Brothers instead, which I had forgotten that this book, it's not like super creepy, but there are some things that happen at night to women who are alone. Well, it happens to both men and women, but in this particular book, there was a scene where it happened to a woman who was alone, and it creeped me out, and I ended up having to stop reading it, even though this is literally like my 6th or 7th time reading this book, probably. So I don't think I ever said what this is about. So this book is, first of all, I don't even know when this book came out, but it's pretty old. It's like at least like 13 years old. So this is about 3 friends, Cal, Fox, and Gage, who live in a small town in, like, I think it's like the Maryland area. When they were all born on the same day. They all have the same birthday, and the summer of their 10th birthday, their birthdays are in July, the summer of their 10th birthday, they decide they're going to sneak out and go camping out in the middle of the woods surrounding their town, where there is what is called the pagan stone. And it is basically like a stone that comes out of the ground. It looks like if you see like the stone table in like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, it's kind of like that. And people don't know what it is. It's been studied. People don't know if it was used for like sacrifice, what it was used for. So that summer, the boys decide to do like a blood ritual, become blood brothers, then like on midnight of their birthday. And when they do so, when their blood combines and hits the ground, something erupts from the ground, and they release something from the ground in this clearing where the pagan stone is. And what they unleashed wreaks havoc on their town, and it's only this town. It doesn't leave the town. It causes people to go crazy, to become violent. Murders happen, suicide happens, rape, theft, beatings, just everybody goes crazy. It's like, what's it called? It's basically like the Purge. The town becomes like the Purge. Everybody goes nuts. People do whatever they want. The people who don't, for whatever reason, go crazy have to like hunker down and try to hide from the people who are going crazy. And this happens for 7 nights straight. During the day, things are calm. Nothing really happens. The second the sun goes down to the time the sun comes up, hell breaks loose. So that happens the night they release whatever on the night of their 10th birthday. And then it happens every 7 years for 7 days. So it happens when they're 10, it happens when they're 17, it happens and it happens again when they're 24. So now it's coming up on the next time that it's going to happen. And they are trying to figure out how to stop it, what it means. They have no idea why it happens. And all three men are now like immune. They don't get sick. If they get hurt, they heal. And they all have like visions now. So Cal can see the past, Gage can see the future, and Fox can see like the present. He can basically read people's minds, but he can like turn it on and off. And so this book is about them trying to figure out what happened, how do they fix it. There's three women who come into it, and it like weaves together destiny and fate and bloodlines and like genealogy. There's a lot of like supernatural and paranormal type things in it. Third book more, when one of the girls comes in, she's very into like crystals and tarot and that kind of thing, so that element comes in. It's also about like the start of our country, like Puritans and religious persecution and that kind of thing. So really good. I love this series, but like I said, I creeped myself out reading it last night. So there's that. I think I'm gonna start Dead Silence, which is a book that Ray sent me. It's set in space on like a space station, and I feel like, I don't remember if it's like people all of a sudden start dying and they're trying to figure out what happened. She said it was really good, and then the way she described it sounded really good, so I'm gonna go ahead and read that. So it's like a thriller, basically, or a mystery set in space where like, so nobody can get out, which I love. And then I'm still reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I'm like 6 hours in, I think. I have like 2 hours left, 2.5 hours. So I'm gonna keep listening to bits and chunks when I can throughout the weekend. Hopefully I can finish it. So far it's really good. I'm really liking it. And what else? I need to start Pumpkinheads. And I got a little bit further into Practical Magic. It's definitely different than the book. It's obviously like expounded on in the book. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've watched the movie, but I got into the part in the book where Sally takes the girls away from the aunts and like moves, and I don't know if I remember that in the movie. I don't know if that happens and then she like, comes back, but I thought she lived in the same house like the whole movie, so maybe they just took that part out. So I'm not familiar with this part, or at least I don't remember it. So I'm excited to see kind of where things are gonna go, what's gonna happen, and to keep seeing the like differences and similarities between the movie and the book. And yeah, I think that is about it for now. That's the update. I don't know that there's gonna be much like fallish type stuff going on today. We're probably gonna be out and about. Tomorrow's my mom's birthday. So yeah, that is the update. I will check back in later. Welcome back. So it's about 8:30 now on Sunday, July 9th. Today's my mom's birthday, so we did some stuff with her. You'll have seen some clips of that. As far as a Summerween update goes, earlier in the vlog I said I ordered that mug that you saw and a tank top, and the tank top actually arrived tonight, so you'll see that tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna wear that tomorrow. I didn't get as much reading done this weekend as I would have liked, being that I was busy with my mom's birthday and everything. But I did get some done. I am about 40% into Blood Brothers. I knew this was going to go quick once I started it. I love this series. I love this book. I love diving right back into it. So I'll probably finish this pretty quick. I may end up finishing this tomorrow. I'm going to wait to dive into the next book in the series because I know if I let myself get hooked into these, I'm going to ignore everything else I'm reading, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to finish this one at least, and then I'll hold off on the other ones until after Summerween. Then on my Kindle, I have, you can see here, I have Practical Magic on there, which I'm like 20, well, maybe not quite. I read it some on my phone, and the Kindle doesn't always update. I think I'm like 25% into Practical Magic. I'm reading A Flicker in the Dark, which I'm really liking. It's about the main character. I forget her name now, but her dad is a serial killer. He killed 6 young women when she was a kid and was eventually found out and arrested. This happened in the very small town they lived in Louisiana, I think. And she's an adult now. She's a psychologist or a psychiatrist, one of the two. But she has a lot of anxiety problems, a lot of like mental health issues. She's like afraid of the dark. Like there's a technical term for it. I don't know what it is, but she's afraid of the dark. She has like pretty bad hypochondria. And some of the things, she has a lot of like anxiety. She's very paranoid, and a lot of that stems from obviously the experience of having her dad be a serial killer, and the fact that she knew the girls that her dad killed. She was actually the one who discovered like one of the dead girl's earrings in her dad's closet. I'm not sure, it hasn't really said if she was the one who actually turned them in yet or not, but I'm excited to see where it's going to go. It's been pretty good so far. I have some theories about where it might go. And then I also started, I don't know if you can see it on there, Dead Silence. This is a book that Ray recommended. She read it, I think, like last month. I think I talked about it earlier. It's like set in space, like in a space station. Something happens, people start dying in the space station, I think. And they're trying to figure out what it is. So it's another like mystery thriller, but I love the idea of it being set in space and like a space station. I love thrillers and scary books that are like set in isolated places that like people can't get out of. It just makes it more intense. So there's that. And then I also started, I don't know if you can see it right there, I started Pumpkinheads, which is a perfect, cute, fall, vibey graphic novel. It's also set like in a carnival, or not a carnival, but like a big pumpkin patch, which I love. I love that kind of setting. I love carnivals. I love fairs, amusement parks, pumpkin patches, museums, that kind of thing. Like anything like that, I love. So I love that it's set in a pumpkin patch, a large one that has like different areas and a maze and just like hay rides, all that thing. I love the whole setting. I always wanted to go to a big pumpkin patch like that, but we live in the desert, we live in Nevada. They don't really have that here, so I've never been to anything like that. So I'm really loving the experience of reading it in the book and being absorbed into that kind of setting. So far it's really cute. So yeah, I'm making good progress with everything I am reading. I'm really enjoying everything that I'm reading. I will keep listening to, I also listen to a little bit more of The Only One Left by Riley Sager that I started earlier in the week. Really enjoying that too. So I'm really liking everything I'm reading. I don't know if it's just because I'm so hyped to be in this like time of year. It's not technically this time of year yet, but you know, to be getting to read these and to be in the Summerween mindset. So I don't know if that's contributing to it. I'm sure it is, but yeah, so tomorrow back to work, but hopefully it'll be a little bit slower of a week so I can focus a little bit more on reading during the day, setting my whole atmosphere and aesthetic with my candles and so it is about 8:30 now. I kind of took the evening off, just relaxed, did some reading. I am almost done with the Blood Brothers. Yeah, Blood Brothers. I knew that I was going to get through that one quick. I've read it so many times. I'm very familiar with it, and I love that book and that series, so I knew I was going to get through it quick. I think I only have like 20 pages left, so I'll finish that tonight. I read more of A Flicker in the Dark. That library book is due tomorrow morning, or not tomorrow morning, but tomorrow sometime, back to the library, so I need to finish that tonight, tomorrow morning sometime, before that goes back to the library. I did listen to more of The Only One Left, and I think I only have like an hour and a half left maybe, so I'll definitely finish that tomorrow. And then basically the only thing left from what was actually on my TBR, so the only thing left after that from my TBR is going to be Pumpkinheads, which I am finishing. Being that as a graphic novel, I'm assuming it's pretty short, so I should be able to finish that up pretty quickly too. So I think I may be done with most of my Summerween TBR by tomorrow night probably. And I'll still have a few more nights, so maybe I can add in some extra reads. Some of those bonus reads that I wanted to finish. Maybe I'll do, it'll probably only be like one. Maybe I'll try and do House of Salt and Sorrow, since I need to read that so that I can move on to the arc of the second book I have. Yeah, so it's been a really good day reading wise. And they are like the central focus of the story, so I love that. I think that's what I love the most about these books. The paranormal part is good. Nora Roberts really like crafted this really cool like world, and the like whole demon and angel, evil versus good kind of thing. I really enjoy that part of it, but for me it's really the characters and the found family aspects and all that. So love this book. I've loved it since the first time I read it. It is pretty old, as you can see. I don't know when this series actually came out, but I've had this book for like 15 years probably. Yeah, I'm excited to get to the second one. I'm going to wait and hold off. I probably won't read the second one for Summerween, because I know I'll just stick to these books and not pick up any others. So I'm going to wait. That'll probably be a next week's vlog and just a normal vlog. But I have like an hour and a half left of The Only One Left by Riley Sager, so I'll finish that today. And I'm like 40%, 50% of the way through A Flicker in the Dark, which is really good so far, so I'll try to get through that as well. I'm like 40% through Pumpkinheads, the graphic novel. I'm really liking that. It's super cute. The art style is really cute. And then I'm like 20% into Practical Magic, so I need to read some more of that because I would like to try to watch the movie this week. And yeah, so that is my progress so far. That is the update for this morning. I'll probably add in some more B-roll, some more clips. I'm hoping today will be a little bit less busy at work, so that I can maybe put on some reading sprints, put on a candle, get some iced coffee, and just kind of relax and read a little bit today. I'm definitely going to try to do that more. My reading so far this week has been mainly like at night after work, or right before bed, so I haven't gotten tons of clips. So I want to try to do a little bit more reading during the day today. I love, especially during Summerween, like crafting the perfect reading environment, getting like a nice drink, lighting a candle, putting on some ASMR or a reading sprint, having a cozy blanket and the dogs, and just crafting like the perfect reading environment, and then enjoying whatever book I'm reading. And I think I definitely want to do that today, so you'll see some of that today. And yeah, that is about it for now. I will check back in later today and have an update. Okay, so it is Wednesday night now, the 12th, and it is about 8 o'clock, I believe. 8:30 maybe. I don't think I've updated since yesterday. I finished The Only One Left by Riley Sager yesterday. Really good. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars, I think. The thing about Riley Sager books is that there's always some plot twist or reveal or something unexpected at the end of his books. It all leads up to that like one reveal at the end of the book. This definitely had that. It actually had a few reveals that I did not see coming at all. The big like reveal, I definitely had no idea was coming. I go into his books usually pretty like suspicious, like trust no one, could be anything. Like the reveal or the big plot twist could be anything. And I definitely did not see this one coming, like I said. So really good. I gave it 4 stars. That was one of my most anticipated books of the year, so I'm very happy that it was a good read, a decent read. Nothing like mind-blowing to make it a 5-star, but a decent 4-star read, so I'm happy with that. I also finished Pumpkinheads, the graphic novel. It was super cute. I really liked it. The art style was really beautiful. It was a really sweet story. Getting to be in a pumpkin patch and going all the different areas throughout the pumpkin patch was really cool, and definitely set the like Summerween mood. And then I Flicker in the Dark actually got returned to the library before I could finish it, but I did get it, that was in Libby, in the Libby app, but on the Hoopla app I was actually able to find it, so I will probably try to finish that tomorrow. I'm still reading Practical Magic. I'm only like 20% into that, and I need to pick it up and get further into it. I probably need to try to watch that tomorrow if I'm going to watch it, so I may do that tomorrow at some point. I also started a book called Dead Silence. This is it's basically like the Titanic, but in space. The main character, Claire, is a like captain basically on a spaceship that is like out in like deep space. This is it doesn't say like it's necessarily in the future, but like technology is very advanced, and so they are out in deep space. Her and her crew, there's like 5 people on her crew, and she is actually going to be like put on a desk job basically. This is her last mission, and when she was a kid she was actually the only survivor of a epidemic basically. A bunch of people got sick. It spread throughout like the colony that she was living on, killed everyone but her, and now her crew on their ship have come upon this large luxury cruise liner, like space cruise liner, that basically sounds exactly like the Titanic but in space. And it turns out that this ship had gone missing like 50 years before, 20 years before, something. I think it's 20 years before, and nobody knew whatever happened to it. And it turns out they get a distress call, and they follow the distress call, and it turns out that it is the Aurora, the missing ship. And they realize that everybody who they see, actually that's not true. Some people did escape. There were escape pods that are gone, so they assume that some people on board escaped, but of those left on board, everybody died. And it seems that they didn't die because of like an illness, like in the colony where Claire grew up. It seems like it was more violent. There were suicides, killings, murder, rape, like beatings, all kinds of stuff. So it seems more like some kind of like mass hysteria or something like that. So they're still trying to figure out exactly what happened. It's basically like the purge broke out on this ship, and it's been stuck in space ever since because there's nobody left to maneuver it or whatever. So I love books that set in space. I love the Titanic, and I love these like creepy, isolated, like you're stuck and can't get out type of books. So this has like everything in it that I would like, and so far I'm really liking it. I have some theories about what happened, about what is going to happen. Claire is also, she has been diagnosed with extreme PTSD. She has had auditory and visual hallucinations in the past. And so she's kind of, she is an unreliable narrator. So everything that she's seeing and the things she's experiencing, you don't really know what's actually happening and what's true, what's real, what's not. She very much like sees things, she hears things. She herself doesn't know a lot of the time what is reality and what isn't. So it's very hard to know what is actually going on. So I'm interested to see where it goes and what happens. I guess there's like some kind of reveal at the end. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go. Like I said, I'm not really sure where it's going to go. I don't read books with like unreliable narrators very often. But I'm really liking this one. So if you have other books that have unreliable narrators, like in this way where like they don't know the truth of what's happening, let me know down below. Maybe I'll check them out. Maybe I'll do like a reading vlog of that. But I'm really liking it so far. I'm think like 40 or 50% of the way through. So hopefully I can finish that in the next couple of days, and that'll be like a bonus read for Summerween. So yeah, that is the update for now. I don't really have much. Oh, I decided I wanted to watch a movie that was kind of Summerween-y themed that would fit in with the week of Summerween. So I watched an interview with the vampire today when I was younger. That was one of my all-time favorite movies. And it had been quite a few years since I had seen it. So I watched that today. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely creepier than I remember it being. And I don't know if it holds up as well now as it did back in like the 90s or 2000s or whenever it came out. There were some parts that were definitely a little kind of suspect, but I did like it. And yeah, tomorrow, like I said, I will probably watch Practical Magic, and we'll see how that goes. And yeah, that is it for now. I will check back in with you guys tomorrow when I have another update. Morning, guys. Welcome back. So it is Friday, July 13th now. I don't think I updated at all yesterday. I'm currently on my way to Starbucks to get us some coffee for the morning. So I made a little bit of a mistake. I thought that Summerween went until today, Friday, but apparently it actually ended yesterday. I thought it was Friday to Friday. Apparently it was Friday to Thursday. So I was like almost done, not almost done, but like 60% of the way through Dead Silence, the last book that I was trying to read for Summerween, thinking that I would have the rest of today. It is a Kindle book, but I've been really enjoying it, so I've been getting it through it pretty quick. So I thought that I would be able to finish it today for the last day of Summerween, but apparently Summerween finished yesterday. But I'm going to be a little bit of a rogue, and I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to let today be my last day of Summerween. Yeah, that is basically what's going on this morning, so welcome to my last day of Summerween. Hopefully I'll be able to get through Dead Silence and finish the rest of it. I'm really liking it. Maybe I did update yesterday talking about Summerween, or talking about Dead Silence. I mean, basically the Titanic set in space as like a ghost ship is like the perfect book for me. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm excited to see where it's going to go and what exactly like the reveal is going to be at the end. So yeah, I'll give you an update when I've gotten through that, and then at the end I will sit down and do like an actual clip of a wrap up of everything I read this week, my thoughts, and yeah, welcome to the last day of Summerween. Yeah, so it's actually like a week later since Summerween finished. I have been editing the vlog throughout this week, and then I realized that I never closed it out. I never did like an outro, so I'm going to quickly sum up what I read, how the week went, everything, the books I finished. So I ended up finishing 5 books and DNFing 1. It was a good week. I really enjoyed the spooky vibes. It was exactly what I needed. I didn't end up watching Practical Magic, like I said, but I did end up watching Interview with the Vampire, which is another movie that kind of matches the theme of Summerween. I love that movie, so that worked out really well. And yeah, it was a good week. I had a lot of fun. I love my Summerween mug. I use it almost every day now. I use my Summerween tank top a lot also. And yeah, it got me into the fall Halloween vibes, fall like mood, which was exactly what I wanted. We've had a few rainy days here in Vegas, which is awesome. That has contributed to the mood as well. So yeah, I always love doing this readathon. I look forward to, I think the one in the fall or winter is Winterween. I don't know if Olivia and Gabby will be hosting that one again this year, but I always love doing both of these. So yeah, quick summary of what I ended up reading. So I did read Practical Magic. I really enjoyed this one. It was a little bit different than the movie. I do want to go back and watch the movie. I just didn't get a chance to do it in this vlog. But I really enjoyed reading it. It was very nostalgic. Like I said, I used to watch that movie all the time when I was a kid. And I know it pretty well. And so being back in that world with those characters was very nostalgic, and having those witchy vibes, the like small town vibes, the like sister dynamic, all of that made for a really good reading experience, especially pairing it with like a fall ambiance video on YouTube. So I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 3 stars. Part of the problem for me, I realized, is that when I watch a movie before reading the book, especially a movie like this that I'm so familiar with and that is so like ingrained in my childhood, I always end up still liking the movie more because that's what I'm used to, if that makes sense. So while I did enjoy the book, I would still prefer the movie. I know that I think there's a prequel to Practical Magic. I forget what it's called, but I want to say it came out in the last year or two. I definitely want to read that at some point. I don't know. It probably won't be anytime soon. Maybe I'll read it in the fall sometime. But yeah, I liked it. It was a good start to Summerween. Then I also read Dead Silence. I think I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I liked the first, 80% of the book probably. I loved the setting, being out in space. I love books set out in space, and then adding to that the element of kind of like the Titanic, like a ship, like a ghost ship lost in space. I loved that. If you know any other books that have that kind of similar premise, let me know down below because I would love to read it. I love books set on the ocean, on ships. So getting, and I've always been really interested in the Titanic as well. So getting something that's kind of similar to that, but in space, is combining two elements that I love. So I really enjoyed it. I didn't like the twist at the end. I don't want to spoil it, but it's something that happens often in paranormal, supernatural type books. And I hate it. Every time it happens, it makes me so angry. So I didn't love that. It wasn't necessarily done bad. I wasn't expecting it, and it was well done. But I just think that there are other creative ways to do it, and it doesn't necessarily always have to end with a twist, I guess is what I'm saying. But I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. The creepiness of this empty ship floating out in space. The descriptions of the ship were done really well. The character dynamics were done really well. I really liked having the main character be a little bit morally gray. She's trying to do the right thing, but she also ends up kind of doing the wrong thing. But she's also unreliable because it's basically a Sixth Sense type thing. She can see dead people, she can see ghosts. You never really know what, till the whole time you don't know if she's actually imagining these things, and maybe she has a mental illness, maybe she's schizophrenic or something like that, or if it's genuinely that she really can see these ghosts. So never knowing what's real and what's not throughout the whole book, I really enjoyed that part of it. I do want to find more books where the main character is unreliable and you never really know what's happening. Again, if you know any more books like that, let me know. That was the part that I liked most about the book, honestly, probably was getting to see everything through her perspective and her point of view, and the way she never knew, honestly, what was going on. She constantly questioned, is this real? Or am I having a mental breakdown? Am I going crazy? What's going on? So I really liked being in that mindset. And as the reader, also, never really being sure what was happening. Then I read Pumpkinheads. This was super cute. It was perfect for Summerween. I love pumpkin patches. We don't have we have small little pumpkin patches here in Vegas, but we don't have a big one like this with a corn maze and hay. Obviously I live in the desert, so there isn't really a place to do that kind of thing, but it's always been my dream to go to the northeast of the country, part of the country, and where there is an actual fall with the leaves and colors changing and all that, and do this kind of thing. Maybe someday I will get to do that. That would make an awesome travel vlog, but we don't really have that here. So getting to be in that type of, especially I think it works really well for a graphic novel because you have the art and you can actually visually see the things in front of you. The art was beautiful. I loved the story. I had a feeling that the two friends were gonna, eventually realize that they had feelings for each other. But it was done in a very cute way. The art was beautiful. You really got a sense of the setting and all the different areas of the pumpkin patch, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. Then the next book is going to be Blood Brothers. I said this in the vlog, it was my 5th or 6th time reading this book. I love this book. Every time I read it, it's so it's a comfort read for me. I'm so familiar with the world and the general idea of the story. It seems every time I forget small little things that happened, or I pick out something new in the story, or I realize a detail that I didn't know before. So I love that. That's one reason why I like to go back to series that I love, is because I feel every time there are things that you forgot about, and so it's almost kind of you're reading it for the first time. So this is very much the same. I love the romance in here. I think for me, the reason why I love these books so much is the combination of the supernatural paranormal elements added in with the element of romance and like found family, a friend group. I love that dynamic. In this book, there's two groups of three, so 3 women, 3 men, and they come together and form this friend group. And the banter between them, like the wittiness, just the ease in which they communicate, how well they know each other, as a whole, like the group coming together. I love that. I love that so much in these books. And I'm really excited to go on to the next one. I haven't started the next one because I know once I start, I'm not going to want to put it down. So I'll probably try to finish the books that I'm wrapping up now, and then I'll get to that one. But yeah, I really recommend this series if you like supernatural type books, if you like books with paranormal, and you want a little bit of romance thrown in and a little bit of spice. I highly recommend these. Then the next book is going to be The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and it did not disappoint. I really enjoyed it. This is probably my favorite Riley Sager book that I've read so far. There is one element of Riley Sager's books that he always does that's kind of the same thing as Dead Silence that I don't like. It's basically the same reason. But again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. And he does it in every book, so I was expecting it this time at least. I think this time though it was more well done than in previous books. And just for this one, it was really more like the environment that the characters were in, an isolated house on, a set of cliffs. The house is literally crumbling down around them. You're never really quite sure what the story is or what happened. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. Then the last book is Frankenstein. This was the DNF. I started it and I could just not get into the writing. I knew that it was going to end up putting me into a reading slump and I wasn't going to pick it up. So I read literally like 10 pages and then put it down because I knew that I wasn't going to get through it. So yeah, that is it. That is everything I read for Summerween. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you're still here, this video was a lot longer than I was expecting. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know if you have a Summerween vlog. I'd love to check it out. And I will see you guys again soon.